So my take would
Ma'am,
be, yes, ma'am, please, I will proceed. I'll carry on later. You can proceed.
okay. So, ma'am, basically, we would like to know and gain insights about the role of a management consultant at Big Four. So, what your job role basically involves, and how did you fetch this opportunity for yourself? How is the environment there, and what skills as students we can inculcate during these 6, 7 months before our placement starts, so we can also fetch a consultant role.
Understood. Okay. So I'm sure most of you have attended the previous session that we had. So you know my background. I'm not going into that detail. So I would like to say a few things where, firstly, be a good human being. Because when you go into your interviews, be it for your internships or your job placements, your personality reflects when you have your conversations with the person who's interviewing you. So what's going on in your mind will obviously come out in in terms of your body language. So I know while it may seem very distinct and unlinked, it's not. It's not. Be a good human being in the first place. Try and help others. They can gauge these things. The recruiters are not kids. They can very well understand your body language, what you're talking, how you are portraying something, or you are just being real about it, or you're just faking it. Anybody and everybody can make out that. They are made to do that. And they interact with so many of us, like people like us. Right? So that's the bottom line. I think once you do that, rest things will fall in place. Second, very important aspect in any good role to come your way is good communication skills. So how you articulate what you're going to say, frame it in your mind. Don't show too much of lag as if ke hang ho gaya server. वो भी नहीं लगना चाहिए. But then for that you'll have to keep reading. So reading could be aligned with your subject so that the day you are asked about a question, nobody is expecting you to crunch numbers and give them tables and facts and figures. No, they would rather try to understand your broader perspective, the bigger picture. How much do you understand of the bigger picture? They would not just look at कि अच्छा ठीक है अभी न्यूज में कल ये आया था इसको पता है कि नहीं पता है. I don't think that's relevant too much. वो भी कितना पूछ लेंगे? Why not question them just to assess whether you're current with what's happening in the world? Nothing more than that. The third aspect remains that, again, coming back to the same point, communication is very, very important. Because, see, I don't know how your internships work out now in the college. Be very serious when you do your internships. Firstly, grabbing a good internship. Yes, Arohi, you have to say something.
Ma'am, I have one question. Like, do you
Please.
want us to ask questions at the end, or it's we can ask in between? Like, it's
As you are comfortable, I have no issues. I'm okay either ways. I don't think. I think if we keep it to the end, it's more of a monologue. I would say we can have it as a immediate thing. I think that would be better, so that what is coming your mind, you can immediately ask that question, and we can address that issue. And leading to that, somebody else might have some other ideas, so we can
sure.
take that.
So, ma'am, you
Yeah.
started by saying that be a good human being. But we know that in today's world, even if you join corporate, so there is a thing called corporate politics and all. So, how do you deal with that and maintain your, essence there and your temperament? How do you fluctuate? Do you change it as per the environment, or you are
Arohi,
constantly the same person?
Arohi, you are pursuing an MBA, so I'm sure you've done graduation, you've been through your schooling also, and I don't know if you have some work ex prior to joining your MBA. I'm sure you would have seen politics everywhere. Wherever few human beings are there, there is going to be politics because ultimately they feel it is a race. The moment you are a little too bright, also people start becoming, they get intimidated by your presence because they start feeling that you might just take their place. So I think that's why it comes back to the same thing that don't get bogged down by what people are thinking about you or just keep doing your work. And yes, what I've heard while I'm yet to join the corporate back after 12 years, 11 years was my stint with the Air Force and 1 year was a corporate stint in the beginning. So I can maybe another 5 months down the line, I will have a better interaction with you because I will be very current with the current setup, which is there in the corporate setup. As of now, I can tell you every organization, every place you will see politics. Somewhere we may not label it as politics because we feel no, it's too demeaning to call it politics. But even in your classrooms, politics goes on. I mean, I'll be very blatant about it. So everybody wants to have their foot forward. They want to showcase themselves. That's what politics is all about. As long as you can maintain your calm composure, your core competence has to be there. What you're doing, you have to be confident about it, that what I'm doing it with the best of my capability, and I'm not doing anything wrong. You're not cheating anyone. Your integrity is maintained. Then what's there to fear about? And obviously,
Ma'am,
you
may I?
learn the dynamics of your organization as in when you move into it. You once you're a part of, like, certain organizations have a great culture, while on the contrary, certain organizations are very average. I mean, very not a great culture. You may not enjoy working there. Then you have to call it a day sometime. Enough is enough. If you see no, it's just not working out. You have all the capability. You are skilled. You are well read. You are educated. By then, you would have some work ex also. Always take a call. Move ahead. Yes, sorry. Who was it? Was it
Yes.
Rohan?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Rohan. Please
So I
tell
was
me.
just asking, ma'am, it's our basic human nature, because when we are new to any organization, it's we should be open to learn new things, to be,
Absolutely.
to have a contagious energy that people feel comfortable around us. That when we are talking to
Yes.
them and when they are communicating to
Mm.
us, there shouldn't be a
Yes.
bridge or something that we are faking out. So it should be
Correct.
more open, ma'am. But in my undergraduation, when I was applying for this company, D Shaw, I had this interview and I was, almost up to the PI round. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing was that I was new to it. I was not knowing how to act. I was just being natural, and I was little nervous. But I was trying to, overshadow my nervousness through smile. But I was just, it was little hasty. So, ma'am, I was just, how to act in the beginning of our journey, our new journey. If you can guide me.
I'll
So,
come back to the same point where I told you read. Make reading a continuous habit. Because the moment you are well read and there is anything which comes your way, I think you'll be absolutely confident to handle it very calmly and in a composed manner. Why should you even fake yourself? There is no need to do that. Because see, faking, I'll give you examples from SSB. So many people attempt SSB almost 6, 7, 8 times, 10 times also. You must have heard. So many people don't make it only even after appearing for 12 times. Why does that happen? And people, few of us, they just clear it in their first go. So I think the people who are being themselves, who are being genuine about themselves, and what is SSB? If you really ask me in very, very plain and layman terms, I would say it is just judging your personality, how good a human being you are. Because ultimately, leaders are also supposed to be human beings. They need to have empathy. They cannot
yes,
be
ma'am.
human beings without empathy.
Also
Okay,
there are
ठीक है यार
sometimes.
तेरे yes.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, sometimes also they are
No,
testing is that how you react to certain situations.
yes, not
That
only
if it,
that, even in your MBA selections, they will give you situations where they will expect you to answer those situations. So in your mind, you have to have those priorities very, very clear. What is more important? Like from a business point of view, ultimately the company wants the business to flourish. But when I come to the 4G terms, I would say their life is of prime importance. We cannot negotiate losing a life. So I mean that is the difference how the different worlds operate and what their priorities are. While again they will also be testing you on your ethical part. So they might give you situations where they will try to judge you, give you a complicated situation where they might it might lead to doing some unfair activities. There you will have to see that is where your real personality will come into play. You can't just say कि ठीक है मैं बहुत business लाऊंगा, but I am okay to do anything, any wrong activity also. I don't mind because I get you business. I don't think a recruiter would prefer to take somebody like that, because at the end of the day you're going to be their employer also. Tomorrow you can fool them also. If you're ready to do it for them for somebody else, you can do it with them also. So basic core values, core competence, reading is very, very important. I don't mean to say कि आप उसको burden बना लो, but generally try and read one odd article, subscribe to आजकल तो इतना data available है. Just subscribe to one of your LSCM. There must be journals or things of that kind, some newsletter, so that you are abreast with what is happening.
yes, ma'am. Also, we get to know about the perspective, how all,
Yes,
how everyone is thinking. It's not just, because we may have something subjective, but how to
absolutely,
react to
absolutely.
situations about, yeah,
Yes.
when we read, we know get to know about it. Thank you so
You
much,
get to
ma'am.
know the different perspectives to it. While we
Yes,
might just
ma'am.
have a very, very limited bird's eye view on it, when you read, you get a broader picture, and that is how you can connect the
Exactly.
dots in the other scenarios also.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Harshit, you've raised
Yes,
your
ma'am.
hand.
Ma'am, so my question is regarding like that today there are, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, can you hear my
We
voice?
can't. No, it was breaking. Harshit, please come again.
Ma'am, can you hear my voice now?
Very limit. Okay, you go ahead. If it doesn't work out, I'll let you know.
So, ma'am, my question is like there are many certifications like available today, like PMP, project management, Six Sigma, and data analytical tools like various tools. And so in our resume writing process, and as a fresher students with the no job experience, so what are the skills we can acquire so that our resume at least gets shortlisted, especially for job roles like consulting or risk management, like these companies, especially for these job profiles.
Harshit, here I would like to say to all of you that currently in the next 1.5 years, because you will be passing out from your college, and in the next about 6 months, you'll be doing your internships. Not even 6 months, I think 3 to 4 months. I think AI is one skill which is non-negotiable because by the time you pass out, unless you have those AI, at least a AI user, I would say. I'm not saying a coder or somebody who's making AI and ML coding and all that. That is a personal choice because ultimately that's not your domain. Yes, if you want to get into the logistics and supply chain, AI, some kind of a portal you want to make, that can be one odd guy amongst you, but not everybody. Otherwise, I think you need to have a familiarity with AI. That is a non-negotiable currently. The first thing that is what I will tell everybody. So first, focus on this, have something related to this. Then if you develop interest with regard to that, go even deeper because that is where you will stand out amongst the crowd. Apart from that, if you want to do your risk like certification or a project management kind of a certification, that I would not recommend right away uh, because as of now you're too new to your MBA program also, where you are still figuring out what interests me a lot. Is it project management or is it hardcore supply chain jobs or is it something else? So I would recommend work on Excel, Power BI, and AI. These three you must have them on your resume because not everybody will have that skill. After that, once you are done with this, then by then you would have spent almost 6 months from now, and then you would be more clear about what kind of role you want to go into. Then go in for any such certification. But at the cost of repetition, I said this in my previous conversation also with you guys. Don't do local certifications. I would recommend, even if it comes at a cost of paying certain amount, pay that money because you're already paying a lot for your MBA. So थोड़ा और खर्च करके if you get a global level certification, that again stand puts you apart from the crowd. And if you feel कि नहीं अभी नहीं करना है, no harm. There's no hurry into it because certain times when you join your organization, especially these big four and all, they make you do these certifications aligning to the kind of role you are into and the kind of requirement they have from you as an employee. So don't rush into the certifications as such. Take your time to figure out what works well for you, what is your area of interest. But currently, Excel, Power BI, and AI. You must learn this. ऐसा नहीं है कि उसके लिए
Yes.
you need to pay or something. आप free course Coursera से करो, Udemy से करो, but be aware about these things. You can't put a sorry figure in your interviews if they ask you कि AI के बारे में बताओ, what do you know and which kind of basics कि किस AI को किसके लिए use करना, इतना ही 3-4 चीजें हमें पता होनी चाहिए. Presentation कैसे बनाओगे AI से? So while we would spend so much time making presentations while we were in college, आजकल तो इतना easy है. Just give the context and see the presentation is there in front of you within 5 minutes. Then you can tweak it as per your ideas. At least a basic outline is there. So these kind of things, I think because ultimately, what are you gaining? The organization is going to gain time with an employee who can work on AI. That is
Yes,
why
ma'am.
people who don't learn this will become redundant. They are still putting in those 4 hours to make one presentation, which you can make in just 15 to 20 minutes. So that is a non-negotiable.
Ma'am, yeah, I have a follow-up question on this. Like, hello, my name is Atish.
Yes, yes, yes,
So,
yes, please.
uh, Ma'am, we are in Edge subject and in our place com, they are telling us to do some certifications like future
Like,
learn future. Like we have to do principles of modeling, then we have a digital marketing.
hmm.
So does recruiters focusing on these certifications, or are they still focusing on practical experience more in the person?
See,
Like
having a
who have
certification in your CV is always a benefit because, see, what does a certification mean? You went to a body who conducts an exam or whatever their mode of checking you is. You went through that rut and you've been able to clear it. So there is a level of understanding that this person, one, has a learning aptitude because इसने over and above अपने curriculum के ये किया है. That is the first thing a recruit from a recruiter point of view, I'm saying. Second thing is, once you are certified by a whatever body you are saying, national or international body, obviously they have their certain checks and balances. Those certifications are not just being given in free. It's not money game. कि आपने सिर्फ पैसे दिए आपको certification मिल जाएगा ऐसा तो है नहीं. You have to study, you have to appear for an exam. So obviously it gives you an edge above the other people because organization also feels कि यार ठीक है MBA तो सारे ही कर रहे थे but ये बंदा जो आया है इसके पास एक additional ये चीज है which can come in handy for the job role I am looking to hire him for. Definitely it will be helpful, but again at the cost of repetition I would say go do your internships, then decide what certifications to do. The certifications will not take you more than 6 to 8 months maximum. So during your second year of MBA, you can always pursue any certification which interests you. Just don't waste money कि नहीं ये भी कर लेता हूँ वो भी कर लेता हूँ वो करना है तो फ्री वाले करो. जो सीरियस टाइप करना है जहां आपको लगता नहीं 2 लाख रुपए कॉस्ट है मेरी सिर्फ सर्टिफिकेशन के लिए अप्लाई करने के लिए दैट इज अ सीरियस बिजनेस. यू स्पेंडिंग प्लस 2 लाख रुपीज ओवर एंड अबव योर MBA कॉस्ट. यू हैव टू बी थॉटफुल अबाउट इट. बाकी आप यूडमी वुडमी से आप करते रहो. That's hardly any amount to be paid. One Domino's trip is like one Udemy certification. So
yes.
वो that you can keep doing. आप किसी में भी करो. In fact, use that Udemy platform to understand whether that particular topic interests you or not. Before you take a plunge into the larger thing, go do a cheaper part of it, understand the nuances of it, and then take a call कि नहीं यार मजा नहीं आ रहा. किया तो but मजा नहीं आया. Then you have that option to switch. Once you've given those 40, 50,000, 2 लाख रुपीज, तब फिर वो ऑप्शन नहीं बचता ना. तब तो वो सिरदर्दी बन जाता है. करना ही पड़ेगा. घर वाले भी पूछेंगे क्या हुआ उसका. फिर क्या बोलोगे.
So,
Ma'am,
since
Yes,
undergraduate,
yes,
yes, yes, yes.
yes,
so
Satisha, you were
ma'am,
saying
before
something. Go ahead.
Uh, like ma'am saying yes. If I talk about my since undergraduation, I focuses on like different field. Like I've done financial modeling. Then
Hmm.
prior to logistics, I've done inventory analysis certification as well.
Hmm.
So like that, I want to like I'm
Yes,
just focuses on
बिल्कुल.
yes, sir. Yes, 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 Sunny.
Yes, yes.
Hi, ma'am. So I wanted to ask, with your experience in risk management and leadership roles, right? So how could we, as tomorrow supply chain professionals, deal with all these business disruptions that we arise, like the sudden ones, especially? How can we like react towards it?
I think Yashaswini, when you're a part of an organization as an individual, not too much is expected out of you. Because unless you are in a decision making role, which is going to affect the remaining employees, I don't think you get to make those calls because it's a top down driven approach. Be it risk management, be it any such global activity which is causing disruptions, those kind of brainstorming is done with the board only. So while corporates are not very rigid the way services are, where you have just orders being passed to you and you're doing that, but uh, I don't think, yes, you can do your analysis, you can be very well read about it, but till somebody really asks you your opinion, how it won't matter to the organization. One of my reason for joining Forge was because when I joined Tech Mahindra and I worked in the energy and utilities vertical as a business analyst, the day I entered, or maybe 2, 3 days into it, I suddenly realized there are so many people. I don't want to be into this crowd who's just looking forward to getting that visa to go abroad. That was my only motivation to join Forge, where I wanted to be an independent leader. So I mean, that's the ground reality I'm telling you. There you will see people like rats, so many people, to be honest. So I think it's very important that you first guys gain certain experience, and
Yes, ma'am.
then don't lose hope. As
Mm.
in my peer group who were working in the beginning, obviously we joined together. They're doing very well for themselves today in the corporate only. So it initially may not seem very great while we what we think sitting outside कि अरे पता नहीं अंदर क्या होता है डेलोइट की इतनी बड़ी बिल्डिंग है पता नहीं सभी क्या कर रहे हैं ऐसा नहीं है so that's what I'm trying to say maybe after you have gained a year and a half of experience that is the time for you to take a real call this works for me or it doesn't work for me this job role suits me or it doesn't suit me so initially jaake I think first 2 to 3 months you should just learn how to be a part of that system and
Also,
be
yes, ma'am.
yes.
Also, I want this question. I'm in every stage of my life, no matter how much experience I've gained, but कि I feel like काश किसी ने ये चीज़ मेरे को पहले बता दिया होती, because when I was in my 12th, so there was some things, and when I was applying for my first job interview, like I was applying for Zomato. So there was this thing that I was almost, always part of that organization, but in the last stage of interview, they took mail writing, and I was not aware about how to
Email
write a
writing. Email
email
writing.
writing. Yes, ma'am. To how to write a structured
Mhm,
mail, and I was almost there. And
mhm.
this is not the first time that happened to me. It's like a flow of change that happens to me every time. So, ma'am, if there's few suggestions that you can give me right now that I need to focus on, because if someone, my juniors ask me, that's something that I can suggest them. So something, ma'am, that will be helpful for me, so that I don't feel like in future, काश ये पहले बता दिया होता.
See, for that, it is very important that every stage you discuss things with people because every day is going to be a new firefighting for you. Like you're saying, your Zomato experience, I'm sure ROE would have had a different kind of an experience where she would have got this feeling कि यार कोई बता देता तो शायद we would have been better. Exam में नहीं होता यार टीचर थोड़ा important ही बता देता तो I would say Rohan, very very important that once you are getting into before you take that plunge like you guys are going to appear for your internship interviews I believe if they happen I don't know how it works for you guys but when you have that interaction when you know let's say you're going to be interviewed for Musk try and find somebody out on LinkedIn reach out to 8-10 people try 8-10 को करोगे हो सकता है एक ही रिप्लाई करे वो भी जरूरी नहीं है कि करेगा try and reach out to people who are already into it because when you speak see there is a lot of difference just hearsay mein sunna and hearing it from the horse's mouth so if you ask me about the air force I will be able to tell you something much more than probably a normal any guy who just knows about air force who's just read about air force so that is why I'm saying when you are about to get into something like even today now I'm joining Deloitte on coming Monday today is Monday which is second and on 9th I'm supposed to join I am speaking to one of our senior who was there in Tech Mahindra when I joined over the years obviously sir had his own trajectory whatever he was then with 20-22 years of service retired lieutenant colonel joined the corporate तब कोई बात नहीं हुई उनसे but now I again got in touch with him कि sir in the last 11 years things must have changed a lot and obviously once you're a student of somebody है ना it doesn't matter we might be colleagues but if that person has taught you you always have that regard for that individual I reached out to him I said sir I'm going to join again and it's going to be a long time you've seen both the worlds you've seen corporate also you've seen forge also guide me what do I do so it is very, very important. Before you are into it and drowning into the swimming pool, I think before you take the plunge, speak to somebody who's related to it.
So, ma'am,
वहां पे
it's
ये
like,
फर्क पड़ता है.
yes, ma'am. So what we need to focus is on is the domain knowledge, the networking,
Absolutely.
and the case
Communication.
study part. Yes, ma'am. The communication, the yeah, yes, ma'am. That networking part, the
But
LinkedIn, we
the
need.
irony of it is that when you sit for your interviews, nobody's going to check you on your technical knowledge.
Yes,
Because the
ma'am.
kind of conversation you strike will
Hmm.
itself convey how well read you are.
Yes, ma'am.
Nobody will give you a scenario जहाँ वो तुम्हें है ना if there are any calculations that you guys do let's say for inventory management or something Barely any organization would do that with you. They are
Yes, ma'am,
basically,
because everybody's
especially
doing.
at the college level, they check your fit interviews. Those are called fit interviews. One is your technical knowledge interviews. The other is your fit. They see, okay, this is my organization. This is the kind of people we want in our organization. Basic aptitude होना चाहिए, communication ठीक होना चाहिए, देखने में ठीक. Please mind you all, always work on yourself in your looks also. I am not saying कि मतलब भागते रहो salons and all those places. When you enter a room, your hair should be properly tied. You should be well dressed. Your footwear should not be making awkward sounds. When you enter, knock the door and enter. These things also make an impact. If it's a video call, don't just keep looking at yourself, which we keep doing on video calls. Try and look at the camera because the recruiter can make out very well. They can make it out. So yeah, and especially like I said, there is so much data available. Once you are going towards something, reach out to people. Google it. कि मेरा इस role के लिए interview है. And I suggest some sample questions, sample answers. Don't mug them up. Go over them. If you mug them up, you will ruin your interview because you will just keep recollecting कि अरे यार उसके बाद क्या था, उसके बाद क्या. Don't do that. But that all will happen once you have enabled yourself through continuous hard work.
Ma'am, I think these
कि
are the
हाँ,
brownie. Ma'am, I think these are the
sorry.
brownie points most of the people don't talk about, because I was also looking to myself only in the screen, and now because I'm talking, I'm looking at the camera. So we need to work
क्योंकि
in this
होता क्या
adjustment.
है ना, let's say अभी तो it's a multiple screen, we have so many people out here. When you are just one to one with somebody, आपकी फोटो वो नीचे कोने में होती है और मेन स्क्रीन पे उसकी होती है, तो पता तो चल ही जाता है कि ऊपर देख रहा है इंसान के, वो नीचे में अपने कोने को देख रहा है. So all these kind of small little things, but once you are into it, बहुत panic करने की भी जरूरत नहीं है. Maintain your calm, be composed. It's okay, है ना? Like I'll tell you from a college, when the placement started, the first day we had Accenture, which came in our college only, UPS. And Accenture did a GD round in the afternoon. Group discussion में selection हो गया. There were around 40-45 people they selected, and then they were to interview them. Now, it so happened that those interviews got prolonged so much that around 11 o'clock in the night, it was just me and my roommate who were left. The moment I entered the room of the interviewer, he looked at me and he's like, "Oh, you're also there." As if his job was done for the day and he was already made up his. Think about the individual also. ना बेचारा सुबह से सुने जा रहा है, इंटरव्यू लिए जा रहा है. On the human angle, I'm saying. ठीक है, as a candidate, I felt very bad कि यार ये क्या तरीका है. मतलब मैं तो आई एम कमिंग विद फुल zeal and enthusiasm and you are disregarding me at the face of it के अच्छा you are also there, and I immediately knew I'm not making it because वो थका हुआ है, he's not interested in whatever I'm going to talk, and as luck would have it नहीं हुआ. So sometimes it has to be your day also, like this, every dog has a day. So there's nothing to get disheartened. There's nothing to get disheartened, even if let's say you don't make it in your first attempt, even if you learn from your mistakes. Learn from your mistakes. That is very important. Learn from others' mistakes also. Let's say you are a group of whatever people. Somebody will face an interview in the right in the beginning. Somebody will get selected. Somebody may not get rejected. Speak to both of the lot. Ask them what went wrong, what was good, what was your strong point, what did they ask you. That will prepare you because there are sometimes the recruiters ask such questions which never occur to your mind. आप सोचते भी नहीं हो कि अच्छा ऐसा भी पूछ सकता है क्या, वो उसी से पता चलेगा. And the trends keep changing. Like if I tell you what was asked to me 15 years back, because now what my interview happened will not be a similar interview for you guys, because now they're talking to me with 12 years of experience. What they will ask you will be very different. How will you get to know that? Only when you talk to your peer group who are facing those interviews, who have your seniors who have just faced it probably the last year or this into the process of facing those interviews. Keep talking to people, gather knowledge through talking also. But matlab, it's a very common term in Fauj. We say कि when officers sit together, they don't chit chat, they discuss business. मतलब काम की बातें होती है. अच्छा, you discuss policy matters and you see how many ideas come up. ठीक है, मस्ती भी करनी है, but take out some time where one of you can just put in a word and then the conversation follows. Then the discussion just keeps happening and you
Yes,
gain
ma'am.
out of it.
Hmm. I mean, I think we need to work on a formal setting also, because we are used to, seeing others' face, because we are just casually doing the video call and all.
Yes,
So it
yes.
must be working on formal skills.
Like when I had my SSB, I clearly remember I would tell my father, okay, every time I will speak to you, I will speak to you in English. Because I wanted to be more confident in conversing in English. While I did come from a convent school, all that was there. But still, I didn't want to fumble in my SSB. So these kind of things, like if you are not very great in your eye contact, let's say, then you have your best friend out there, tell him to speak to you like a interviewer and tell him to correct you on those aspects. Basics to हमें भी पता है ना. And sometimes while in the interview, we're so panicked about the whole process, we don't realize we're fidgeting with our hands, we are doing something. वो हमें नहीं पता चलता जो बंदा कर रहा होता है. वो दूसरा जब आपको बोलता है तभी आपको समझ आता है. कोई बार बार ऐसे ऐसे करता रहेगा. Everybody is different, है ना. कोई पेन को लेके टिक 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 हाथ में करता रहेगा, which is very annoying for the interviewer. Obviously, you are getting your options lower and lower for getting selected. These things you will only get to know once you have a practice round with somebody. कुछ नहीं होता तो आजकल तो AI को बोलो आपसे interview लेगा. At least your conversation part, your line of thought can be checked with that. Keep doing that. I
Right.
don't think that it is anything which is unhackable. You can just do it. What is the average pay package that your seniors got in your course?
I mean, it's between 8
8.58.
to 10. 8 to 10, between 8 to 10.
Okay. And somebody who's got very high package,
I
what
think
was that?
14 is the highest so far.
No,
Okay.
no, no, no,
Okay.
no. It was 20. Last
I
year it
think
was, I think,
19.
no, no, I
I
think
think
it
19.
was
Oh,
currently
last year it
20.
was
yeah.
28.
Yeah.
28 now.
20,
For
it
SNC, it
was
was
20.
Which
28.
organization? Which organization?
I
I
think
think it was Bain and Company.
Care and Company.
Yes,
Achha,
Bain,
Bain
Bain.
Mm,
comes. Bain comes
Bain
to your
comes.
college. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. So you
Right.
should see these kind of in case Bain has a different kind of recruitment cycle they follow. They might just give you case interviews and all these kind of things. Very, very rigorous, I would say.
Yes, ma'am, they do. D show
You know?
also does the same. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes. So some very
Oh,
big companies where they're going to pay you a lot,
okay.
there they have that kind of rigor.
And also, ma'am, before the final PI, they take AI PI, where the AI asks the structured questions and how we answer to it, how we articulate to it. Then based on that, it shortlists.
And how about your resumes? Uh, you guys have a standard format to make your resume, or you guys are making it yourself? How does it
We have
work?
a
No,
standard
We have a
format
standard
Standard
format.
shared
form.
by.
Standard format. Okay. Okay. So how do they tell you about ATS compliance
They
of the
have told us
resume?
about ATS
Told us
Okay.
about.
compliance, but very few of us have gone through that or applied that. I mean, not
Right.
everybody does that. Yeah.
See what you guys can do about it. While for campus placements, it may not be required because the company is coming to the campus to hire people. So there is a limited pool of people where you're going to have that interaction and the selection or rejection, whatever. While once you're outside into the civil street, that is when this particular aspect matters. और कुछ नहीं समझ आता अगर मान लो आपको resume में भी आपको लगता है कि no we want to enhance a resume. There are so many AI related subscriptions which you can take. Don't take it individually. I would not recommend so much money to be spent. Three for a few, just take a common subscription. 4 or 5 people of you can share it and use it. So your cost of subscription also comes down. You put the job description. You need to see what is the job that we are applying for. I don't know. I think college में requirement पड़ती है कि बस वो standard resume से काम हो जाता है. How
I
does the
think we
company
have.
Standard.
shortlist? क्या हम किसको next round के लिए ले रहे हैं या नहीं ले रहे हैं? How do they do that? Based on
Actually,
your
it
marks?
depends upon the recruitment process. For separate companies,
Okay.
there are different recruitment processes.
हाँ.
For example, for Infosys, they are currently they are going to take our aptitude, logical reasoning, and
Mm.
thereafter they are going to ask us for a business PPT. But for
Okay.
different company, for let's say for EY, they shortlisted our resumes and thereafter
Ah.
took the interview.
Here that role would come into play. That would be important. Okay. If the company is upfront taking your resume and shortlisting, so that before they come to your college, they have a limited pool out of the available lot to look
Right,
at.
right.
That is where this is important. What I was just talking about, ATS compliance and aligning your resume to the job that they are offering. So
Right.
otherwise, like
Talking
for
about the
Infosys where you have a test, there it won't matter.
right, but ma'am had just one question regarding the recruitment process. As you are, first of all, congratulations that you're going to join Deloitte.
Thank you.
One question that I had was specifically emphasizing on what was the recruitment process, what were the different stages, and next up, what specific interview questions were asked to you? If they are not related to like the bigger domain, then it's okay. If they are more emphasizing on your experience related to army, then that's a completely different thing. But if they are more on a management basis, please let us know.
See, I'll tell you. Firstly, you need to understand that I am joining Deloitte as part of the Military Veterans Internship Program. So it is a specific program that they have designed for transition of the veterans, that is from the Army, Navy, and the Air Force. So, like, I can give you the figures from the last year. There were around 1,200 applicants. Again, the resume came into play, and either there is human intervention or not. I'm not sure about it. Some 70, 80 resumes were shortlisted, and out of 70 or 80 of them, only 28 were selected finally. This is the last year figure when they had this program. For this current year, I don't know how many applicants were there, all of that. I can tell you what happened for my process. I applied on their website. They had rolled out this military veterans program in the month of September. I applied for it based on my resume. Again, very important, align your resume to the job description. While here there wasn't a specific job description, but I aligned my resume completely towards a risk management profile. So basically, when somebody reads your resume, they should get to know that you are into IT, you are a logistics person, और एक मैसेज निकल के आना चाहिए कि this person, I can have this person for this particular role, उस टाइप से. डोंट मेक इट कि मैं तो ये भी कर लेता हूँ, मैं तो वो भी कर लेता हूँ, वो मैं भी, ये भी, वो भी तो हम सब करते हैं. लाइक स्पेशली इन फौज तो हम सब कुछ ही करते हैं. वी कॉल आवरसेल्व्स मास्टर ऑफ नन, जैक ऑफ ऑल. It's like that. So I aligned my resume for that. Then this shortlisting happened, and then I had an interview round, which was mainly a fit interview. I was lucky to just have one round. Few people have had 3 rounds also of the interview. So in that particular interview, we had one veteran who was working with Deloitte sitting there. Veteran as in he's retired after almost 20 years of service, and he's joined Deloitte. And one person from the domain that my resume was aligned to. So since my resume was aligned to the risk management role, that individual was from their risk management team. Now, it was more of a fit interview where they asked me, based on my resume, he asked me, okay, you've pursued fellowship in insurance. What was the idea of doing that? So, see, he's picked up a line from my resume, a qualification that I have done, and he's asked me, कि आपने क्यों किया था ये? आप तो फौज में थे. Now, how did it get driven? I told him, okay, I started doing this course while I was in college, but eventually I joined Forge. I didn't want to leave it open-ended and unended part of my qualification, so I finished it while I was in Forge also. That is how it began. Thereafter, he asked me. He asked me about certain aspects about the kind of role I had played in Forge. So he said, "Can you explain to me about it?" Fine. Then he asked me, okay, tell me two of your strengths that or and challenges that you face that you think you might face because of your transition from defense to corporate. So I told him that I had worked with the corporate almost 11 years back, but I think the systems would have changed a lot. That could be a little challenging, but notwithstanding, I am open to learning and I am somebody who will put in all the effort to do it. Now, how did I connect it? I told him I am a perseverant person. So my perseverance was already proved when I told him that I did a course which I began and I didn't want to leave it open ended or unended. So I finished it. So see, I connected both the things. I'm telling him I'm perseverant. I'm giving him an example also from my own resume, which we've already had a conversation about. So this is how you can talk. When they talk about you, you can tell yourself. Then he asked me, okay, can you tell me an example of adaptability? How you are adaptable? I told him I'm adaptable. I can very well adapt to the systems and all. So he said, okay, give me an example. Then I gave him an example where, see, these kind of things should be prepared in your mind. Well, I wasn't, to be honest, but maybe out of experience, I could handle it. But when these are very common questions where the first question will be, tell us about yourself. That has to be a prepared thing. And we are no more school kids. So don't answer it. My name is this. I studied here. I did this. No. See structured interviews on YouTube of professionals where they will guide you how to go about it. You have enough time in hand. Start working on it. Even when you're sitting idle, just think about it. कि मेरे को पूछेगा यार, tell me about yourself. So how will I articulate my whole thing? Where your strengths might also come into play. And then if they get stuck onto it, कि अच्छा ठीक है, you said the strength. Tell me an example. How did you display the strength? It should be there. These are called storylines. These storylines have to be prepared in your mind. These stories have to be there in your mind. कि आप अगर बोल रहे हो कि नहीं मुझे लगता है ये एंड डोंट से यू हैव टू बी वेरी वेरी केयरफुल व्हेन यू से एनी ऑफ योर लिमिटेशंस खुद ही मत बोल देना कि मैं तो बहुत बड़ बोला हूँ मैं तो है ना ये मैं तो नो दैट विल नॉट बी अप्रिशिएटेड इट विल बी टेकन एज वेरी अनप्रोफेशनल सो सी play safe on that. Say something which you can immediately cover up. Say something which you are okay to adapt to, or you can evolve. It's a very limited thing. Like, for example, you can just say that uh, when I work and if I have a team and if my team is not working great, I tend to do things myself to ensure the perfection. See, what is happening here? The organization is saying कि बंदे को काम तो चाहिए, perfect चाहिए. खुद load लेने के लिए तैयार है. That doesn't mean you're a bad leader. You are achieving the outcome. At what cost? At your own cost. तो आपने नेगेटिव भी बोल दिया, बट आपने कंपनी को ये भी बता दिया कि आई एम वेरी हार्ड वर्किंग. Something like that. So multiple
Right.
interview options are available. See them before you really sit for interviews. Professionals, बहुत options available है.
Okay.
So इस type से choose your words, articulate your sentences well. And while the other person might, and always light humor is always appreciated, but don't take the whole thing to a very, very lighter tone. That is not appreciated. Professionalism
Okay.
has to be maintained. But that doesn't mean at the same time कि है ना हम बिल्कुल मुंह बना के बैठे रहे और है ना उसको लगे यार ये इसको तो नहीं ले सकते ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में इसके साथ तो काम ही नहीं कर पाएंगे हंसेगा ही नहीं ये तो. So fit interviews are basically to judge because ultimately you're going to work with peers from different backgrounds, from different places. So you have to fit into the organization and then your skills would play a role, no? Anything else?
Ma'am, yes, I have a question, ma'am.
हाँ जी.
Ma'am, like I have to ask, like during our in internship, summer internships, so we are getting opportunities like in logistics work, like in warehouse, etc. But like you said, we have to change our resume according to the job profiles. So like, what if I am getting opportunity in a consulting role, like interview? So they usually ask about your internship. So how can I mold that so that I can be fit for consulting as well? Like from the warehouse operations department, like I can speak in that interview regarding I am also fit for consulting as well.
What is your graduation background, Harshit?
Ma'am, I have done like BTech computer science.
BTech Computer Science. See, when you go into a warehouse, there will be so much of inventory management that you will probably be looking into. There will be softwares that you will be looking into, right? I'm just giving you one odd example based on what you've just told me. So, how you can translate it into a consulting role is, see, consulting is not a hover, firstly, let me tell you. है ना? It is a skill set that you bring onto the table and then you want to convert it into a real time work scenario. Like in my interview, he asked me, I'm a petroleum oil and gas engineer. So he asked me, are you even applying to oil and gas companies? I said, no, I think oil and gas is long gone. Notwithstanding, I know the terminology. I'm adept to the terminology of oil and gas. The interview tells me, I think it's always good to have people who have varied domain knowledge and because we have oil and gas projects also going on. So we need somebody who can talk their language. This is what the interviewer told me. So similarly, Harshit, when you have to translate your background or whatever your knowledge that you have gained I think when you will talk about being into a consulting role, you can always bank on your BTech CS and your IT related or CS related experience that you've gathered while doing the inventory management or whatever you do in your internship to leverage any kind of expertise at the consulting table. And do you have any work experience, prior work experience?
No, ma'am, I'm a fresher, but
Okay.
like I have
Okay.
done internship in BTech and like projects in like coding and stuff
Yes.
like.
So connect all of that. Connect all of that. If you are wanting to go in for your consulting or your internship, connect those things to build up on your resume.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Welcome. Anything else?
No,
No,
ma'am. I
ma'am.
think we all have asked our questions, and thank you so much for being available,
Thank you
for
so
turning
much.
up. And really, it's immensely we're grateful to you for sharing those valuable insights because they have helped us gain quite much about the organization, that how actually interviews take place and how we need to mold our resumes, how we need to present ourselves. So this session was enriching for us.
I'm glad I've been able to put some value
Thank
into
you.
it. And anytime, I think let me join, and then maybe another 3-4 months down the line, we'll be in a better position to talk as to what the current scenarios are.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
and all the
Absolutely,
best
ma'am.
to all of
Perfect.
you. Do good internships. Work hard in your internships because what you
Right.
gather from there will help you in your final interviews when you sit for your
Yes,
job
yes.
interviews. So don't just take internship as a time pass कि यार एक CV में 2 लाइन
Mm.
लिखनी है internship के
Mm.
बारे में. That shouldn't be the agenda. Do it very,
Sure.
very seriously. Try and gain something. Try
Yes,
and
ma'am.
understand what interests you, what you can take ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
all the best to all of you. Do well.
Thank you so, thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
ma'am.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
Thank you
ma'am.
much,
so
ma'am.
much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Bye.
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Good
Have a
evening.
nice evening, ma'am.
Good
Have a
evening,
nice
ma'am.
evening.
Bro,
Until